so it's moving. But wait, when we start moving, it looks like it's still.
Some videos are so confusing that they mess with your perception of reality. Get ready to see the most mind-bending illusions that will make you question your eyes.
This is awesome. Oh my goodness!
This video will mess with your mind.
But wait, when we start moving, it looks like it's still.
Everything seems normal in the video, but when the woman started walking, the water stopped flowing. How crazy is that? Am I tripping? Or is this building actually spinning? He couldn't believe what he was seeing in the middle of his work shift.
Hey, so out making deliveries, and what is this? There's a floating broom.
Is this witchcraft? Comment below.
What is that?
These people were having their lunch when something strange started happening to their food. There were sparks in their salsa. They were all confused. I've seen many strange tricks on the internet, but this one just broke my mind.
What?
The man slowly walks up the streetlight as if gravity does not even exist.
Oh my gosh.
You might think that this video is edited. But believe me, it's not. This is just a play of perspective and a few clever strokes that made it happen. The little girl was shocked after what happened here. Where did the ball go? Watch as these two dogs are frozen in time.
Oh my god, dogs are so creepy.
Have you seen? It's like a Matrix glitch.
There's a glitch in the Matrix.
Maybe we are living in a simulation, and these dogs are just glitching.
They're like identical dogs, and they're frozen.
No, how is this happening?
On my move.
This is what two sides of the same coin look like. Because at first, you read one thing until you change the angle. That's when you see the other side. Which is completely different. This is why I don't trust my eyes anymore. Because at first, I thought the chair was facing forward. But I was so wrong. What about you guys? Did you make the right guess?
It looks like I'm just sitting in thin air, right? Well, this is just one of 5 crazy chair illusions that I built that's gonna completely mess with your brain.
This man just defied the laws of physics, because there's no other explanation of how he's sitting on an invisible chair. People are kinda convinced that this has to be some sort of trick, or maybe some special equipment. These people in China thought they were hallucinating when they saw this city floating in the clouds.
This video surfaced out of China, and it looks like their city is floating in the clouds.
They could see entire buildings and homes towering above them in the sky. But before you say this is fake, let me explain how this is even possible. This is a type of optical phenomenon known as fata morgana, which happens when light gets distorted. We might be seeing a glitch in the Matrix. People were confused when they saw this strange phenomenon in the sky. It looked like the sky had been divided into 2 separate parts. I believe that this was a trick of light, but it's still really strange to look at. In this shocking video, the ship appears to be floating on air. The beachgoers really thought there was some fishy magic going on here, but there's not much to worry about, because this is just light playing tricks with your brain and logic. When reality malfunctions, this is what happens. This skateboard was sliding down the ramp and it just froze in time. The cameraman believed that this was an actual glitch in reality. Because it looked like some invisible force was holding the skateboard in place. Nothing will prepare you for what happens here. The guy is holding a red folder in his hand. But watch what happens when he walks behind the car.
But how much will coronavirus impact what many believe?
Did you see that? The folder turned green. Either this comedian is really good at impressions, or his face really transformed on camera.
And then Tom Cruise walks in, and even those guys are like, whoa, and he's super stoked.
During a CBS interview, he was doing an impression of Tom Cruise. But for a brief moment, he actually started to look like the actor. If you ask me, I think this video could be edited by deepfake.
Yes, yes, yes. They did come to my house.
What do you think? This is the kind of thing that makes me question my sanity. And now, you will do the same. Because nothing here makes sense. All the vehicles take a sharp turn, and it looks like they're disappearing into a mysterious portal. It's like they were all pre-programmed to escape into that dimension that we are still unaware of. Do you think that bush is on fire? Look again, because now you see it. Now you don't. The more you look at this video, the less sense it will make.
Oh my goodness, they're honking at you.
Oh my God.
This guy literally floats through the air while holding a cart. Even the customers are unable to make sense of what they are looking at. They can't decide if this is real magic in action or some clever trick.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on this? Do you believe this is real magic? I think the planet needs a software update because something's not quite right here. This might be one of the most mind-boggling videos ever recorded. It looked like an entire island had started to float in the air mysteriously. Has to be one of the strangest illusions ever. Mirrors can get really strange. The man places some objects in front of the mirror. At first, there's nothing usual about their reflections, but then some of the objects appear to be flipped in the mirror. What in the world is going on here? Can you guys guess why these birds are frozen like that? Has to be some sort of creepy sorcery. It looks like the people are expanding and shrinking as they move around in this room. It's as if their bodies are made of elastic, or maybe it's the room that is playing tricks with us. At first, it seems like the dinosaur's head is following you everywhere, but your mind will be blown when you see the reality. It's all just a trick. Same face, same clothes, same glasses. Looks like the world ran out of new things and replicated old ones. The woman was baffled when she did this experiment.
Can the mirror see my head moving?
Yeah.
How does the mirror know what I'm doing? How can you see what my head is doing on the other side if I've got this up in front of me? How does the mirror know what I'm doing on the other side?
When you don't understand physics, everything seems like sorcery. Now those are some dangerous patterns on the water's surface. When these patterns appear in the ocean, it's usually followed by a storm. Explain what's happening here. In a shocking moment, this water started to pour out of the ground. Nature really is full of surprises. It's not possible to walk through objects, is it? Well, this little girl proved us wrong.
And this... How? How?
Did she just perform magic? When you're around Scarlet Witch, magical things are bound to happen.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Did you see that guy magically materialize out of nowhere? The guy just laughed in the face of gravity. Breaking the laws of gravity is one thing, but doing it on stage is even crazier. The cameramen were starting to question their sanity after seeing this. At first, they thought that the camel didn't have a head, but turns out, they were just seeing it from the wrong angle. If you think that you've seen it all, then you're in for a surprise. Because this footage from a live interview will make you question reality. Look at the woman behind the man. She just disappeared in the blink of an eye. This airplane just went against basic logic. How was it not moving at all? A man saw this bird that was frozen in the air.
That's a dead bird, and it's just floating in the air.
It seems like nature said abracadabra, and this bird froze mid-flight. If you see white rings floating in the air, look again, because things are not as they seem. The man is controlling the hoops with such swiftness that they appear to be floating. When artists decide to twist logic with their skills, it looks something like this. Wow, that's a tall 3D tower extending from that piece of paper, right? Well, you have been tricked again. This is just a 2D paper, and the drawing has been made in such a way that it looks 3D. Do you see this tree trunk floating over the rabbit's head? This is yet another clever illusion, where a painter uses art to bend logic. This homeowner's world turned upside down. Quite literally, this house was not flipped over by a natural disaster. In fact, it had taken some insane designing and craftsmanship to execute this design. And to say the least, this house is sure to turn some heads on the street. Here's an illusion so real that it will make you gasp. She walks on what appears to be a stick over a deep pool. But believe it or not, there's no pool here. It's just a painting that makes you think there's an opening in the ground. Science is the craziest form of magic. A teacher proved that science in this video in an insane way, because what happens here is nothing short of unbelievable. A normal cycling session turned confusing when this happened. First, there's one kid on the bike. But things get confusing when the same kid on the same bike follows after the first one. Looks like the world just said copy-paste. Here's a fish that has found a cheat code in the Matrix. Either this is CGI or this butterfly is stuck in an alternate dimension. There's no other possible explanation for this. Looks like the grocery bag has places to be. Well, this one just did. Watch as this ball appears out of nowhere. That was unbelievable. The boy moves away, but his reflection moves faster. Videos like these make us question what truly exists on the other side of the mirror. Your brain will short circuit after seeing this. The woman behind Scarlett Johansson simply disappeared, just like you guys have been disappearing without hitting the subscription button. This might seem like CGI, but it's 100% real. Turns out Harry Potter's invisibility cloak was actually inspired from the real thing. What would you do if you saw a scary monster lunging at you from a building? If you were thinking about running away, then that won't be necessary, because these are just 3D screens that look extremely real. During the basketball tournament, all the players started acting like NPCs from a video game. Could this be a coincidence? Or something really crazy is happening on these sports fields? Not sure how it's doing this, but someone needs to get this cat on a stage. For all we know, we might get a new Michael Jackson. These were just ordinary fish tanks, but one day, something really strange happened to them. All the fish just froze in one place, as if time itself had stopped. And what's even more strange is that they stayed like that for the rest of the day. A woman was just saying goodbye to her dog, but the ashes found a way to reach out to her. Oh, while throwing away the ashes, they took a dog's form for a brief second. For you, this might just seem like a trick of the light, but for this woman, it was a really emotional moment. In a strange weather phenomenon, it was raining on a single car. All the other cars in the parking lot were completely dry and untouched by the rain. Looks like the weather must have really decided to mess with our minds. This lady's software must have lagged, because one moment, she was completely still.
Frozen.
And after a few minutes, she simply unfroze and walked away.
Bob, I'm tripping. What the?
Look at the dog's reflection in the mirror. Is this a trick of light? Or is there something really mysterious on the other side of the mirror? As the cars were passing by, a dog appeared on the road. No one knows where it came from, but it was definitely a narrow escape. The cameraman found an unusual sight in the neighborhood. Either these men have superpowers, or the car is made of cardboard, because there's no other logical explanation for this video. Watch as this fiery bike was moving on its own, making slow flaming circles on the road. This might be proof that Ghost Rider was inspired by true events. While going down the road, the vehicle suddenly got lifted in the air by some mysterious force. People were thinking that some strange paranormal activity was going on here, but after investigating it, they found a steel cable on the road that tripped the cars. Watch this video closely. Did you see the man appear on the road? He wasn't there a moment ago. This might be one of the most confusing videos ever, because it's not clear how the tree is floating in the air. Maybe someone is carrying the top of the tree with a crane, and we just can't see it. While walking down the street, a man found these birds circling another animal. This is really strange, because the birds look like they're performing a cult ritual. What are your thoughts? A drone camera captures a herd of deer walking around in tight circles. And they kept doing this for hours. No one knows what caused this behavior. This is nature's mystery at its finest. Do you know what's more confusing than tricks of lights and illusions? Animals acting like humans. The goat was walking on 2 legs as it walked inside. And what's even more surprising is that the hen followed after it, as if in a trance. At first, this was a normal video of a fawn, but then something strange happened. It appears as if the fawn grew a second head. Now there could be another one behind the tree, but it's still not clear how the head vanished again. This cat was seen frozen in a very strange position as water was pouring out. No blinking, no movement, just pure stillness. It looked completely unaware of its surroundings. What's even more mysterious is that after some time, it unfreezes as if nothing strange had happened. Dogs cannot float like that, can they? You'll question your basic understanding of the world after seeing these dogs floating in the air. In this surprising video, a huge flock of blackbirds fell from the sky and swarmed the neighborhood.
Hundreds of birds literally falling from the sky into a neighborhood. What on earth was going on?
The residents had no idea what was happening as they came down like a giant black cloud. And while some birds flew away, others were no longer alive, which is even more strange. This woman was going to feed the birds just like any other day. But then something unexpected happened.
The fool? Why are they all not moving?
The birds got stuck in one place. She couldn't believe what she was seeing because it looked like someone had just pressed the pause button. How is that man walking on water? Is this even possible? Each time the driver steps on his brakes, the goats fall over. As confusing as this might seem, this is completely normal among these types of goats. These are called fainting goats, and they fall over every time something startles them. Here's a surprising footage of snow falling on one spot on the ground. The rest of the area was completely untouched by the snow. Who knew nature could be so biased? This woman drove past an unsettling sight on the sides of the road. There were countless people stuck in random positions, as if they were all going about their day and suddenly froze in time. Not a single person moved a muscle. The woman was so creeped out that she didn't even stop to investigate it. There's something really strange happening underneath this sand. The guy places a brick on this spot, and surprisingly, the brick disappears into the sand. This was either a really strange phenomenon, or there was a creature hidden under the sand. If you think this is just a normal leaf falling on the ground, you're mistaken. There's nothing normal about this leaf because it never touches the ground. It just keeps floating in one place as if it's completely weightless. These people were in the desert when something confusing started happening to their hair. It started to rise in the air as if they just got an electric shock, and they had no idea what was going on. The woman acts like she's controlling the wind with her mind. She can pretend to be an airbender all she wants, but we can clearly see through the act. Is this a part of our imagination, or a mysterious weather phenomena? People in the city couldn't decide what it was when the storm clouds took the shape of a human face. Now it's time for the most mind-bending optical illusion of the day. Are these people walking on air? Well, not really. A Brazilian-born artist, Regina Silveira, has mastered the art of creating magical illusions by playing with light, shadows, and perspective. The illusion was displayed in a gallery in Poland, and it makes people feel like they're actually walking on air. Although this is just an illusion, it's really crazy how a trick of perspective can change your understanding of reality.